Welcome to Lorehammer, a beginner's guide to 40k. You are listening to episode 4, Free Fall of the Eldar.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lorehammer, a beginner's guide to 40k. My name is Eric.
And I'm Mark.
And this is Jordan.
It's been really fun doing this for you. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Mark.
It's funny, so before the episode I told myself I wouldn't have the same and I'm Mark, the upward inflection, because then Jordan always goes low, because when listening to us talk or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always just pick up on all these stupid little things that I say, for sure. So I'm I'm not going to go high and be and I'm Mark, but it happened, so.
It did.
Weird.
Yeah.
I never noticed that till you said it.
So next episode, I'm not even going to say my name.
just silence, both of us will stare at you.
Exactly. I can't even give in to the temptation, so I just got to cut it off completely.
Maybe one of us will just say, that's Mark.
Mark is over there in the corner doing something.
Not saying his name.
This episode, we are going to talk about pre-fall Eldar. I think when we first did the warp, we did talk about Slaanesh and how he was the most recently born Eldar god.
Yeah.
And it was all from the Eldar. So today we're going to take you from where the Eldar left off with the old ones.
Which was a good place.
No, it was a fantastic. Some would even say utopia.
Yeah, some would.
Some would. And think about it. The old ones left them with all this knowledge and tech, and the Necron-tur had become to Necron and fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Right? They left, and then the Eldar pretty much just had galactic supremacy. Anyways.
So spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
You just learned about the entire episode.
Yeah,
so
go ahead, turn us off. No reason to listen anymore. It's all good. Yeah, that's all you're going to learn. We're going to do it in the next 40 minutes, but that's all you're going to learn. So we'll go all the Eldar up until the fall. And then at that point, they take a massive shift, and we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
Cool. Couple questions I had previously from the last time I put it out to people. One was, I've heard that there's killing of animal for skins. Does PETA know that? So it's a good question. Great question, really. PETA was actually eradicated in the 38th millennium.
Yeah.
Under suspicion of...
They lasted that long.
Yeah, no, they were very strong force.
Yeah, it's hard to kill that ideology.
Yeah. They were eradicated under suspicion of worshipping Chaos God Tzeentch and sowing discord among the Imperium, which we all know doesn't fly over very well. Discord does not. No. It's work with us or die, really. So
I would have thought it would have been they started worshipping the animals as a god, and then the god emperor's hey, no religion.
Yeah, no religion.
Done. Kills them all.
What? Obviously that's not true. But there's actually something really funny about PETA.
Yeah.
I don't even know how long ago.
It was a while. Maybe within the year.
Yeah, within a year. But these can I swear? Like
Yes.
these motherfuckers, like.
That's not a swear.
They write a letter to Games Workshop. Like, this is in real life.
Yeah.
Real life, PETA is like, we need to take care of this. So they write a letter to Games Workshop. And in it, they are like, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Game Workshop, whatever. Like, we are so upset that your plastic figurines wear capes made of fur.
Where is the honor in wearing fur? And they go on this huge rant.
Like, it's phenomenal. Like, you can totally find it online.
Yeah.
Literally, just Google PETA Writes Games Workshop.
Do they call it Furgate?
Oh my gosh. it's like how?
Thou shalt not adorn fictional characters with
they're just
with fictional fur.
It's so pathetic. Like, how did that get past like their PR team?
Yeah.
Like,
Some people have too much time and others don't have enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're the kind that don't have
The
we
PR guys don't have enough time to
I
deal with
see.
all the
all
shit.
the bull crap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that the PETA guys bring
the
up.
PETA
The
guys-
PETA guys have too much time.
Their
and that's why
brainstorming room is trash. It's just like, how about we do this? So bad. But it was hilarious because like how do you condemn a fictional people and
Matt Ward even responded to it.
Oh,
I'm gonna
gosh.
look up how
Okay.
he responded.
don't tell like Mark.
I guess when you're an organization like where its entire mission is like a social justice brigade, it's
Yeah.
like I guess you have
They don't
nothing-
even care.
Yeah, nothing better to do other than
What's so crazy about it too is like the whole game 40K is based off of like genocide.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
But no, don't you kill an animal.
yeah. Don't worry about the
Genocide and like they destroy entire planets. They have nothing wrong with killing innocent
racism
people.
and xenophobia.
Yeah. They have nothing wrong with killing innocent people and like wiping their blood on their
Yeah.
armor to like it's pretty messed up.
Yeah.
And they said no, the wolves.
Yeah.
But isn't like this because they were talking about the space wolves, but aren't those wolves like their friends? Mark, am I wrong?
Yes and no. That's a whole big topic.
Okay, that sounds like something we
All
can
I
save for the
say
space wolf
is
chapter.
there are no wolves on Fenris.
Oh my gosh, yes, that's right.
But,
Okay, no,
yeah,
I don't want to even
that-
talk to you about that then.
Okay, well, what's
Okay,
this
did
thing
you find the
for?
thing, Mark?
Okay, so Matt Ward, like, if you ever read the rule books, you know what I'm talking about. They have like this like little grayed out area, and then they'll have a date and like a title, and then they'll have like a paragraph. Of
Yeah, it's
lore.
like it's a lore part in the codex.
Yeah, and it's just like a random thing. Usually, like, oh, this happened on this planet, or
yeah, or it's
whatever.
like it's like a quote even sometimes from some people.
Yeah. Do you want to read it? Yeah.
Sure. So it says, so at M41, so pretty recently. This is
Oh, did you lie when you said they got eradicated? Oh no, never mind.
no.
This isn't their eradication.
Yeah. So it's at M41, and it's called Peter's Folly. So during routine survey of Death World Luther McIntyre, explorator fleet Bellicis is blockaded by a civilian vessel, Peter's Folly, protesting the unethical treatment of the Death World's inhabitants. Admiral Krex's patience is swiftly exhausted and orders the interlopers' destruction. However, Peter's Folly falls silent before the first volley. Later investigations determined that the entire crew were slain by a flallop of Catachan face eaters.
They're very cute. The face eaters.
I bet. I want one as a pet, really. Mistakenly liberated during a previous voyage, the creatures had waged a short but effective campaign of guerrilla warfare from within the Peter's Folly's laundry room. So these guys on the Peter's Folly rescued these face eaters, and then the face eaters are like, "Bitch, this is 40K," and they ate them all.
And that's Games Workshop's
Yeah.
response to
Yeah.
PETA.
Really, that's all you need. All right, so one of the other questions that I got was, if you play games, are you required to spend a certain number of hours in the mall at the Warhammer store? Good question, really. In order to be a part of the community, you also have to live in your mom's basement.
Yep.
You have to argue
Check.
with your fellow Warhammer friends about whose army is the best.
Check.
Yeah. You have to smell like bad cheese.
Check.
Yeah.
I'm more of
Oh, trust me, I can smell you over here, Mike. Don't worry. And you have to spend a minimum of 25 hours a week at the store creeping regular people out.
Oh yeah. Like I find it's actually best to be outside the store
Yeah.
and kind of just like luring children into the store. That's kind of my go-to move.
Yeah. Well, you need to really buff up the community.
Yeah.
We need more people.
Yeah,
Do you,
exactly.
do you also require neckbeards and fedoras? in
You
order
do.
to-
You do.
Only for people that play Tau or Sisters of Silence.
Oh my.
Miladies. Anyways, yeah. Hope that clears everything up on that question. Only a couple things really just to take care of, but once you do all those, you're in.
For life.
Yeah, for life, and you can't escape at that point.
No, I've tried many times.
That's a lie.
I've tried.
You tried
I've
recently.
thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about trying.
You thought about trying. Okay. Well, in that case, let's move on to the main topic.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So the main topic is Eldar. Eldar pre-fall, Eldar everything leading up to it. So I guess I'll kick it all off. Last we had heard the war in heaven was over. The old ones are destroyed. The Necron have defeated the Satan, sharded them out into shards of power, and then command code, everyone falls asleep.
Yeah. Because they're afraid to continue fighting the Eldar.
Right.
So they're like, whatever, we're immortal. We'll just go to sleep.
Right.
The Eldar will eventually die off.
Yeah, of old age or
Of
whatever.
old age.
Yeah.
You
Or
know,
just
they-
consumption or...
But little did they know that the Eldar are actually immortal as well. Or functionally.
They aren't immortal.
Yeah, there's a
but
couple
they live
stories.
for thousands of years.
yeah, like
right?
the one main guy.
Well, the more powerful a psyker you are, the longer your longevity.
Yeah.
They are proportionate.
There's like guys that are like 10,000 years old
Yeah.
though, if not older. So they're
Yes.
functionally.
Yeah, and a lot of the places will say like barring accidental death or,
Or
disease,
disease, yeah.
they will like we don't really know.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
at some point over 1,000 years, like
Well,
a
that's
sword
the
is going to go
thing.
through your heart,
Yeah.
right? Like
Or you'll
Especially-
contract some kind of disease.
right, yeah,
Especially
venereal-
during their. Ooh,
Like if you live that long, you're probably more likely to die by non-natural causes.
Yeah,
than you
every
are
se-
by natural
the longer you
causes.
live,
Yeah.
the chance of it happening just keeps going
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Right, so
Yep. So the Necron turd, they go to sleep.
the Necron go to sleep.
I guess that's
Don't
true.
make me go crazy.
The
Okay,
Necron.
the Necron.
The Necron.
Yeah.
They go to sleep and hand the galaxy over to the Eldar.
Yeah. So the Eldar have been like fostered, taken under their wing. The old ones, they put their wing out for the Eldar, and they showed them the ropes.
Yeah.
And then the
Taught
old
him how
ones,
to use the warp. Taught him how to use the webway. Taught him
Yeah.
how to live a good life, maybe potentially.
Well, okay. So in my research,
Yeah.
what I was reading is that so one of the whole reasons the old ones created the Eldar is for a race that was really psychically powerful, right?
Yeah.
Because the Necron and Satan were weak to the warp.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens is the old ones see the effect that all these burgeoning new races, these powerful psychically adept races are having on the warp, creating the enslavers and having like warp storms and everything.
Yeah.
So the old ones warn the Eldar, actually. They warn them, like if you continue like to be as crazy as you are, like you will eventually like do something disastrous.
Yeah.
Like the warning doesn't go beyond anything other than the old ones warned the Eldar. So
Yeah.
we don't know to what degree
No.
it happened.
But you could assume, yeah, like,
Yeah, it would be pretty portentous.
yeah.
Like if there's no small thing that happens in the warp. Like anything
Yeah.
that happens is a massive, large scale, right?
Yeah.
So really like there was that entire teaching era. The old ones die.
Or disappear.
No,
I don't think it's.
it's a apocalyptic destruction is what I read.
I've read that they've disappeared.
Well, agree to disagree. We'll get back to that one later, actually.
If you want to tune into our other podcast, if Mark beats the shit out of Eric, we'll be airing our first episode.
In our third podcast, Eric recovers in a hospital.
It's not as fun, but
Just a lot of beeps and
yeah,
okay.
I like it though.
So for whatever reason, the old ones are gone.
Yeah,
And then like the Necron are gone, the old ones are gone, the Eldar, they're it.
Yeah. Because what else are they competing against? Space orangutans that have no foresight. They just
Yeah.
do what they need in the instance, and a couple other minor races.
The Quark at that time were there.
Yeah. So we talked about them. So you kind of know about the orcs.
So
but even them, it's like they're not.
They can't compete.
Yeah, they're a powerful enemy, but they're not building galaxies or building empires, and they're just doing their thing.
Yeah, and maybe we explain like the Eldar, like they're humanoid. They've got they've got pointy ears, is what they describe them as. Like, I know Mark hates it when I do this, but they're the elves. They're the elves of like.
There's so much more.
Yeah, they're the elves of the 41st
What?
millennium.
Are the orcs?
Well, that's taking it too far. So their metabolism is way greater than ours. So
they're quicker. They're taller.
They're better.
They're more intelligent.
Yep.
They're
They
arrogant.
also feel emotions more.
Yes,
Than humans.
absolutely. Anything that they feel, whether that's anger, wrath, lust, pleasure, all of that is
It's like
felt.
intensified with the Eldar.
Yeah. And I personally, I think a lot of that has to do with their connection to the warp.
Yeah, that
Probably.
makes sense.
Yeah. But we can get all into that crazy stuff later. So these Eldar, they're really like an apex. There isn't anything at this point in the galaxy that can compete with them.
Yeah.
At all. So they start their own galactic empire, really.
Yep.
And we're talking like, so they have their crone worlds, named for their crone deity, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's like called like Hagesis or something. We'll find it later.
Hagesis.
Yeah, no, honestly, it's called like
Classic.
It's called like Hagius. Maybe it's Hagius or something.
I'm gonna have to see how it's spelled.
Yeah.
That's
We'll go
funny.
into that one later. But they're named for the crone god. But we're talking like hundreds of thousands of worlds.
Yeah, like galaxy spanning.
Yeah, exactly. Like they were the thing. They traded. They even seeded. Like, so you know how the old ones seeded all the other worlds? It's even saying that the Eldar, whether unconsciously or not, seeded other planets. So
it makes sense.
Well, it is. Like, when you think about it, you go to a planet and all you have to do is drop off a couple bacteria.
Yeah.
And then the process of evolution can take its
and it
space.
doesn't even have to be that like
or
minute.
warp. Or they could drop off an animal.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it could almost be maybe even closer to terraforming than seeding.
Well, because that's why it says whether subconsciously or not.
Oh, okay.
Unconsciously or not.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
It is an interesting fact that like they also contributed to like the galaxy. So like they were the gods.
Yeah. Total supremacy over the galaxy.
Yeah, nothing could touch them. Oh, and then not only that, but then there's the webways.
Yeah.
Right? Like they built the webways. So the warp is a little unstable at this point, so you don't really want to step into it. Just you don't risk it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you don't, if the water's even a little hot, you just you put a mitt on first, right? You put some protection on.
Yeah.
So they got their webways, they got all their tech, they got all their crazy, I don't know, they were the bomb. So
And that's why.
boom. It exploded.
Oh.
No, that was a good one. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was actually. You're so clever and
It
pretty.
didn't register in your face for a second.
Yeah.
All right, so, the time span of that.
Yeah, so this goes on for millions of years, like.
Yeah, like from the end of the War in Heaven, up until M30, or really it would probably start around. Well, okay, M30. Let's go up to M30.
Sure.
So sorry. Maybe you guys don't know how the dates work. M is millennium, and then 30 would be the 30th millennium.
So we're in M2.
Right.
Like
currently, like I live in M2.
Yeah.
And actually, technically, this is M3.
Is it?
Yeah. Anything past like
2000
to 3000
0
is
to
M3.
1.
Yeah. 0 to 1 is 1.
Oh,
so
fudge.
I know. Oh, you've
This just
been
changed-
dating everything M2.
Oh,
haven't
this
you?
has changed my entire
You're
world.
1,000 years behind.
I gotta go do my taxes.
It's like the Y2K crisis all over again.
So M30 is when everything kind of like culminates. So from the War in Heaven, which is history that no one knows about,
Yeah.
and like is so far back to M30. The Eldar were the height of the galaxy.
Yeah, so they got to the point where they've advanced their technology so much that they no longer had to do anything. They had robots to do everything for them.
Yeah.
And one thing that they mentioned that I found was kind of neat, they had a bunch of like robots that even like fought wars for them.
War machines. Yeah, I also saw like so I was reading from manual labor to transportation.
Yeah.
And then it said all the way up to waging war was done by their machines.
Yeah, which is sweet. So that pretty much...
Which is sweet, but...
Sweet.
Sorry.
Sweetie.
Would that have like contributed to a lot of, because it seemed like a lot of the Eldar society was degrading because of the kind of the debauchery that was going on. Like,
and that's like that would be probably the number one thing. Like when you
don't have to work hard anymore.
And we're not talking like us. Like we've seen like an increase in technology and innovation over like a span of what, 30, 40 years? And it's been massive. Now imagine that happening for like maybe thousands to potentially even millions of years, because we have no idea how long they were in supremacy for, because we have no idea how long ago the war in heaven was. So then you have
like no struggle for survival. Like you're just
what's that saying, like idle hands lead to,
I don't know,
something. There's a saying out there, I'm sure.
I know, right, but I'm going to let you struggle.
Okay, so there's hands, and if they're not doing anything, you can't get in trouble. Wait, no!
But no, that's definitely like the idea that we're trying to portray, is that when you're long enough being lazy, you want for nothing. All you're trying to do then is feed your disgusting desires.
Totally.
And it starts small, right? It always does. Like, for me, sometimes I just want to play a little extra video games.
Define extra.
I don't want to.
Define it.
Okay, but because there's minimum.
So from 0 to 4 hours, that's acceptable.
No, because it's minimum 9 hours a week.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, because that's rating. But then you got to get ready for rating, and that's like at least hour and a half a day every day. God. No, it's a lot. Okay, it takes up some time. And then some people want to play League of Legends, Overwatch. Here's the Storm. You can't just leave it at one game. Anyways, besides the point, if I didn't have to work, all I would do is just be lazy.
Video games and grow that neck beard, eh?
I don't have... That hurts.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Can you pause? Thank you.
Sometimes we make comments like that, and I feel like we gotta post a picture of us just so like people don't think we are filthy neckbeards. You know, like look, I look like the guy from I don't know, what's a hot guy? I was trying to think of a hot guy, but
Ryan Gosling. He looks like Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
exactly like Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Good to know that you guys find him attractive.
Not him, just you.
Yes. Good. And the debauchery begins for Eric.
Well, what else am I doing with my time? So you get these Eldar who, for an undetermined amount of time, have done absolutely nothing difficult. So all they're doing is like, hey, like, we don't need to do work. Why not eat a little more?
Eat a little more. Go do something else that's crazy, like jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
Like,
why don't we try something new to give us that best thing? And eventually it gets to the point where the Eldar society is experiencing a very major shift. Now, it's very gradual, but all you would have to do is look back at these guys, and they like we keep a history. You better believe that this race did too.
Yeah.
And very detailed and everything. But so all you'd have to do is look back and see the difference, but no one wants to.
No, why would you look back when you're just enjoying life?
Right. All you're doing is living for that next great moment in your life. So you get it gets to the point now where all of a sudden it's changed from eating a little more to like, what's that next high? Right. What's that next?
Chasing the dragon.
Yeah. What's that next?
That's a thing, right?
No, it is. From the 80s.
Is it chasing or slaying the dragon?
Depends if you're LARPing
or if you're
just doing copious amounts of drugs. So it depends on what you're doing.
So, so you get these Eldar, and it turns from a little bit of indulgence to a little bit more.
Yeah,
and a little bit more.
They're just
and a little
feeding
bit
their
more.
emotions,
Yeah.
feeding their emotions.
And that's a good point to make because their emotions are experienced so much stronger. So when we do something that feeds our emotions, like we enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like when an Eldar does the same thing, it feels it so much more keenly.
Yeah.
And that it's like
crack almost.
Really, it really is. That what they're doing is chasing that feeling like a crack addict, really.
Yeah.
And it describes them as becoming addicted, right? So now you have this race that is physically like perfect. Like
Yeah.
they have like a grace that is distracting. They're blindingly quick. They're very smart. They can do anything they want. And now they're given to these depravities. It's important to note that not all Eldar turned.
Yeah.
So you get the Exodites.
Yeah. There's always going to be people that a little more low key,
I would say a little more foresight,
or that even.
really.
I guess, yeah. In this case, it would
Because
be
it's the Eldar, right?
Yeah.
Like they would see like that.
yeah, the trouble that's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
And so there's a bunch of these guys that end up making giant spaceships, and they all move onto a spaceship, and they basically fly away from the Eldar Crone worlds and, start a new and different life for themselves. And some land on planets, some stay on the spaceships, but they basically are done with the Eldar debauchery.
Yeah. So they're just trying to get away.
They're trying to get away from it.
And it says
Because
that,
the Eldar debauchery gets so crazy that, like, literally they start just having giant orgies and killing people.
yeah.
Like,
So it's described as like they are running through the streets, raping and murdering.
yeah.
And even like
for the high.
for the high, for
Yeah.
like I'm gonna get that feeling of like when I kill someone, like
Yeah.
that's gonna do it for me.
I love how those are on the same level, like, kill somebody or fuck them.
Or both.
You're either fighting or fucking.
I'm assuming
Either way,
it's
somebody
both.
gets screwed.
Aw. Yeah, but it even describes so it does say they are chasing each other through the streets, murdering and raping.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to say they're sacrificing children upon fell altars.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know. I
Dirty.
read that. Right. So like it's bad. But what's crazy is that the majority of them is just everyday life.
That's okay to them.
Yeah.
Like, only a very few
Very few. So
turn into Exodite.
you get these
Eldar.
Exodites. They've left, and they're called Exodites because of the fact that they did an exodus. So that's where their names are. I know it's
Classic
good
Games
job,
Workshop.
Games Workshop. Like ooh,
What's
so original.
yeah. What's next? Orcs to Crorks? Crorks to Orcs? Anyways. So you get these Exodites. They're gone, but there are some who wanted to stay.
Yeah.
These Eldar, like, they didn't want to abandon all the other Eldar. They stayed behind and kind of like a doomsayer, really. Well, it actually doesn't say that anywhere in there, that they are a doomsayer, but that's how I picture it, right? Think of like, if someone in a society built upon death, destruction, chasing the high, indulgence, whatever, all of a sudden says you need to deny yourself.
Yeah.
Come on, that's a doomsayer. That's someone who would be shouted down, cast as a lunatic, ostracized.
Yeah.
It's like someone in our society standing up on a street and saying we need to start murdering children, and like honestly, we would throw that person away. And
They're so entrenched in their lifestyle, they couldn't possibly think of like another paradigm.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which, when this happens, over time, all your emotions build up.
Right. And
They build up.
We did talk about in our previous episodes that every single living thing has a connection to the warp.
Yeah.
And the Eldar's connection to the warp burns like a bonfire.
So bright.
So right. It does, though.
Yeah.
The Eldar are like the most psychically connected to the warp.
Yeah.
As a whole.
Yeah.
There are exceptions to the rule,
Yeah.
but as a whole, Eldar are they have the most impact on it.
Yeah.
So you get all these guys who, for who knows how long, have been slowly and slowing decaying who they are to the point of where they're just a disgusting race. Like, really, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I suppose it would be. Yeah.
What? Would you enjoy it, Mark? Like,
Oh, well, you know.
No, there's no-
The Eldar must be doing it for some. If they didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't be doing it.
You make me sick.
And so,
make me wanna
so in
throw
order
up.
for me to fit in, since
Yeah.
I don't feel emotions as much as an Eldar would,
Right.
I'd have to rape and kill even more. This is
Don't say that with a smile on your face.
this is a society I could probably get behind.
Episode number 5.
Oh boy.
Eric calls the cops on Mark.
Not the first time, won't be the last.
It's true. Okay, so you get this race who has been feeding the warp, and for so long. And another interesting thing is it's a double effect, because when an Eldar soul dies, where does it go?
To the warp.
To the warp. And so all of those like emotions that built what that Eldar is now in the warp as well. So they had an effect on it in life, and they have an effect on it in death.
Yeah.
Which is insane, because it's compound upon compound upon compound upon compound. So this is all happening. Cults are springing up everywhere. All they're believing is they're chasing like a peaceful existence. Like, what's crazy is that they truly believe like they were right. Like, they believe that the society that they're creating is like the perfect, like the utopia.
Yeah, that is crazy actually.
Yeah, like they believed that everyone at some point should join them, and that, if everyone did this, the universe, the galaxy would be a way better place. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it does
It's
not.
just how warped and twisted they really were.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get to at this point Belial 4.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. This part's awesome. Belial 4 really is the culmination of this. And so there's a cult that started on Belial 4, and it started by a priest, and it gained a lot of traction. Now, the priest isn't named, but the demon is.
Oh.
So this priest is possessed by a demon called Shanna Gathan.
Okay.
Okay, and this demon is a harbinger of Slaanesh, who at this point has been growing in the warp.
Yeah.
Like a fetus,
Yeah.
really. Like, it's slowly being fed and fed. Oh, I guess, okay, I kind of want to add this. Quick stop. The Eldar for years, for centuries, have been plagued with nightmares of Slaanesh.
Yeah, which is sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, they are literally getting a vision of their destruction slowly growing and having, like, these growth pains in the warp.
Because they're so tied to the warp.
They're so
that,
tied
like,
to it, yeah.
It's not just a dream, like, oh, this could happen. Like, they're seeing what's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's more of a vision.
It is a vision, really.
a dream.
Yeah, but like all of like this is consistent
Yeah.
too between them. It's
Yeah.
not like one or two. It's like the Eldar are having visions of their own destruction. They just ignore it. They're just like, oh well, let's keep doing what we're doing, I guess. So, you get these cults springing up over there, and so there's one on Belial 4. This new cult comes into play. So this demon Shanagathan possesses the most important priest, and his cult, unbeknownst to them, begins to prepare the way for the new god.
Yeah.
So this cult, and what's crazy is no one recognized demon possession. That's how messed up they were.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Like all the Eldar, like the leaders and like all the people, like this race that is so attuned to the warp is so messed up and twisted, they don't recognize demon possession when they see it. Where it should have been like anathema.
Yeah.
It should be the antithesis. Like they should, when the old ones taught them, you better believe they taught them like what the right like connection to the warp would be.
Yeah.
And then slowly that just gets degraded and degraded.
Yeah.
So this demon is...
And you know what's crazy too? Like, so Slaanesh is the last chaos god that's born.
Yes.
Like, there's still Chinch, and there's Nurgle, and there's Khorne. Like, but they didn't know. Like, maybe they knew about them, but like, you would think that they would have some more knowledge about like the warp and stuff. They were masters of the warp.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's a good point. It's like, at what point did they just choose to willfully ignore it?
yeah, exactly.
Right? They're just like,
That-
we know Nurgle exists. Like, we understand that there's dangers. Like, the Enslavers have been around since the Eldar.
Yeah, so it's not like, this is the first chaos god that's being born. Like,
I guess the picture we're trying to paint for you is like a culture completely decimated by their pleasure.
yeah.
Like, there's a million different things we could point to, be like, why didn't they see this and why didn't they see that? And none of it matters because none of it mattered to them.
Yeah.
All they were doing is chasing that extra emotion.
Yeah.
You get this cult, it's hidden from all the psychic presence, this demonic possession. So he talks, he preaches, he's really just like, he's gaining a lot of popularity in it. So what it says is like culture appearing everywhere. Yeah. And these they're devoted to like arcane knowledge, because again, that's another thing of it. It's just excess. Yeah. Right. The pursuit of like that perfection, sensual pleasure, sexual gratification, murder, rape, the cults. Like these like are like religious meetings dedicated to these actions. So
gross.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you get this guy, Shanagathan, who is like one of like the most. He's a very popular cult at this point. And he prepares a ritual on Belial 4.
Sorry, was that the demon's name?
Yeah, Shanagathan is the demon. It doesn't list the priest's name. Yeah. It just lists the demon. Because at this point, like, the priest is gone. Yeah. But Shanagathan, the harbinger of Slaanesh, prepares this ritual. And he tells everyone, like, this is going to usher in a new age of peace and prosperity. And, like, the Eldar are like, heck yeah, like, we already do whatever we want. Let's just keep on doing it. Yeah. So he gets all these elders here. And he commits this ritual. It doesn't say what the ritual is. But
if I know any Warhammer ritual, there's some goats involved. It has to be.
What would PETA say about that?
They'd probably write a strongly worded letter.
They would. They would.
We're gonna get one soon, probably. I love bacon. So he gets everyone together, and he does this ritual. And I love this. At the culmination of this ritual, like you better believe, like all these Eldar who are murdering, get out of here. They're murdering, like they're raping, like probably like even with they're having a massive orgy is what I'm assuming. And then at the culmination, you get the birth of a new god. And get out of here! You're making me go nuts. So at the very culmination of this, like Slaanesh explodes into existence. Yeah, and like when I say explode, it's a literal explosion. Like there is nothing soft about this. Yeah. So what it gives you, what it tells us.
I like to think actually it's more of an implosion, and you're
okay. Oh, because everything gets sucked in.
Yes, sir.
Good man. Okay. Yeah. Well, the psionic scream is the explosion. And it draws everything in. It's like it expands and then collapses on itself. Let's do that. Let's explain it that way. All right.
Now we know.
Good. High five.
Science.
Yeah, we're good. So Slaanesh is born, and there is a psionic scream that echoes throughout. I think it's the entire galaxy.
That'd be crazy.
I know the radius of the destruction, but I'm pretty sure even the Exodites, Exodites felt it.
No, that's true.
So and the Exodites were on the fringe of the galaxy. Yeah.
So, and even lots of them, I'm pretty sure, got their souls sucked too.
Even not nearly as many though.
No, right, but it still happened to them.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So on Belial 4, Shanagathan finishes his
He finishes.
Probably. And at that point, Slaanesh screams as it is born. Yeah. So much that within 1,000 light years, every Eldar within 1,000 light years of Belial 4 gets its soul ripped out of its body and rushes towards Slaanesh, and Slaanesh feeds on it.
That's so dark.
1,000 light years in every direction. And
Do
then,
we know how big the galaxy is?
I don't, but really, okay. So I will carry on. Yeah. So 1,000 light years in every direction. Every Eldar is gone.
Just dead.
We're talking like the most advanced, the richest, the most tech savvy. Everything. It's just gone. So all their crone worlds, their craft world, everything is just destroyed and decimated. So.
How far of a radius did you say that explosion?
1,000 light years.
1,000?
Yeah.
Oh, the galaxy's 100,000 light years, but it's still a big area.
Yeah.
Because
so that's like 3%.
Yeah. Sure.
Gone.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, that's not nearly as big as the Eye of Terror.
No, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah. Oh, because I guess the maps we look at are the known galaxy, because the galaxy is much larger than that map, right? That we look at.
Well, and it keeps growing too.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So
Yeah. So
But-
the Slaanesh is born. That psionic scream. I think it's every creature that is affected by the warp hears that.
probably.
Yeah. Or do humans? Is that recorded in their history?
No, because at this point in time, like
The Age of
humans are
Strife.
still pretty like. Oh no, that's M30.
That's
They're-
M30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
we're
right.
already deep in it.
They're yeah. Yeah, I would assume that the humans would know about it.
At the very least, something. They won't know what it was.
And there's like humans on planets such as Cadia that are on like the doorstep of the Eye of Terror,
yeah.
which is like the giant warp rift.
Oh
that
yeah,
was
yeah.
Created.
So when Slaanesh grew, so Mark's right. The implosion. So it sucks everything in, and it's really cool because it rips a hole in reality.
Yeah.
And this hole, it rips a hole, and now you have a permanent fixture where the warp and the materium, like the regular galaxy, like they mingle and mix.
Yeah.
And all these planets, all these great marvels that the Eldar did, are now home to like demon princes and swarms of like chaos.
Yeah.
So like this is what's called the fall of the Eldar. So you have the Eldar, and then you have the
Or
fall.
is this their greatest moment? Millions of years of what they strove for.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's an interesting where someone was trying to make. Anyways, so the birth of Slaanesh is really the culmination. It's the end of the Eldar.
Yeah.
As they were known throughout the galaxy. So
Yeah.
M30, that's like year in 29,000th millennium.
Yeah.
No, not that. 29th millennium. No, 30th millennium. M30 is the 30th millennium.
No, isn't it the
It is. M2 is the third.
Third.
millennium. I don't even know.
M29?
Ah!
Oh no. The 29th millennium is when this happens.
Yes.
If it's M30.
Yes. Okay. So this and Mark and I were talking about something a little earlier that we believe, like at this point, that's the Age of Strife.
Yeah.
So
Which means like humanity has basically left Terra.
the Age of Strife is an era of
And-
time. Like humanity gives it that title. It's not not
Yeah.
like a galactic thing. It's
No.
something. So we'll go into that much sooner.
Yeah.
But this is where when we talk about the Age of Strife, like we're gonna go back to this moment
Yeah.
and reference the birth of Slaanesh
Yeah.
because it plays a very very large part of how like humanity is molded.
Yeah. Because like
Well, how far do you want to get into that?
well not far, just one
Okay,
little
go
point.
for it.
Like yeah, sure, like Slaanesh was born and boom, it happened like suddenly. But like there were effects in the warp before Slaanesh was born. Like what's that demon's name? M. Shyamalan.
Shanaganoff
Close.
and Shyamalan.
Like M. Night
M. Night Shyamalan.
Whoa, no.
There's a twist, guys.
It's a twist. Like
A huge twist.
Slaanesh already was playing like an effect in the galaxy.
Yes.
So this effect was building up for thousands of years.
Oh, thousands.
So it
if
wasn't
not
like
longer.
boom, Slaanesh is born. Now it's a crazy thing. Like this is slowly building
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
So this is the effect that it would play on humanity, which
Right.
we'll get into later.
Yes.
But
yeah, there were because it describes also the growing and birthing pains of Slaanesh.
yeah,
So like when Slaanesh is getting fed, like you're disturbing the warp and it's coalescing. so-
exactly.
yeah,
Stuff is happening.
The warp is just getting more and more and more tumultuous until Slaanesh is born, and then you have the culmination of all that energy just ripping a hole in reality, which is awesome. Like it's
Yeah.
so sweet.
I love the warp, like warp storms and
Oh,
stuff.
it's so cool. So
such a neat idea.
yeah, and now you have the Eldar population decimated, even more than that, because
Yeah.
decimate implies like what 90%, like 1 in 10, like way more. Like
Yeah.
they are done.
They are no longer the galactic power.
They're not even
Supremacy.
remotely.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is another because we're gonna compound on that another one because it kind of splits into a couple different avenues.
Yeah. From there.
we can discuss. But at this point, you get like this is where everyone else in the galaxy starts to play a major role.
Yeah.
Until then, humanity is nothing. The tower.
Yeah,
aren't
sure.
really
Humanity
anything.
is
We're
spread
learning.
across the galaxy, but
Yeah.
they're not.
No, we even fought the Eldar a couple times.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But we are not a force to be reckoned with
No.
by any means.
Yeah. So that's basically pre-fall and fall Eldar.
Yeah, it really is. It's actually quite simple.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of research to be done on it. Like, you can always go deeper, obviously.
Yeah.
But like for like a pretty basic understanding, I think that about covers it.
Yeah, but you need to know it. And it's actually, upon like doing this, I've noticed like a theme. Like, there's a race, they have a huge change, and they become something drastically different. So, Eldar, they're this one thing, then the fall happens, and then they become something drastically different.
Okay.
Necron
To Necron.
Yeah, something drastic happens, and they become something that is completely different from where they started.
Okay.
The Imperium of Man is
Yeah,
like that
that's
too.
another thing I was thinking of.
The Tau are like that too.
Okay.
Um,
Tyranid, I guess, are kind of just an ongoing one.
Yeah, like this doesn't happen in everything.
No, but it is a theme. It is like there's
and whether
some-
that's just because
even chaos.
Yeah.
Because chaos, like the warp always existed, and then something drastic happens, and then boom, all of a sudden it's complete.
Yeah, so
it's an
so
interesting
good.
idea.
It's good to know these drastic points that happened. Like this does not play any part really in 40K. Well, it does, but
yeah, it's essential history.
Yeah, like, but it happened like 10,000 years from 40K.
Yeah.
So,
but it shaped. It, like, not only does it physically shape the galaxy because of the Eye of Terror, but it shapes all the direction of the other races, because all of a sudden you have chaos that can just pour from this eye.
Yeah.
Whereas before, like, chaos could still enter our galaxy, but they have to create gates.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's just like, oh, a demon wants to enter, come through. If you're powerful enough, you can step through the Eye of Terror. No one's got to open it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Mark's, that concludes our main topic, and we'll pick it back up on our next topic. Okay, so the second topic that we're going to talk about today, really related to the Eldar, is their mythology.
They're rich.
It is
intricate.
What? Sorry, what word?
Intricate. I know I stumbled over that word, hoping no one was gonna start again. Start it all again. That's it. We'll rename our podcast to Warhammer.
Oh,
what?
What? So, Eldar mythology is it's their history, really. And it's passed down through these guys. Marcus.
They're passed down through the Harlequins, which they sound basically as what they are. They're a troop of Harlequins that basically act out the Eldar's history. And they go from planet to planet acting it out.
In plays.
Mm.
Intergalactic Broadway.
Yes, sir.
But they look like court jesters, don't they?
Yeah. Like think like a Harlequin troupe, like circus folk.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Not everything in 40K is grim death. Oh wait, yes it is.
It is when they have swords.
Yeah.
I don't know what to I don't get how
they're theater performers.
Yeah.
So
and they guard what's called the Black Library, which is in the Webway, and it's basically a library that has all knowledge in it.
Hold on. So, sorry. The Webway, you can actually like have a physical location left inside of it.
Yes. So
Okay.
we'll go back to the simple analogy.
In my mind, it was just like it
Like a
launches
portal.
you from one place.
No,
to
no.
another.
you
Okay.
travel through the webway.
Yeah. So
It's
the ocean, the shore.
Yes, we love it.
You got the tide.
Okay.
The tunnel.
then
the
the-
tunnel.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Webway is the tunnel that goes from one island to the other underneath the water. So it is a physical place. There are like cities built in it, and
Yeah,
like
there's cities in the webway.
yeah,
okay.
you still have to move through it. It's not teleportation, but it's way safer and way quicker.
Okay. Then just traveling through
Through the
regular
warp.
space.
Yeah.
Through the warp
Or
even.
through the warp.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's faster than through the warp.
Think about this. Like, so if I'm swimming across the
But don't
ocean,
they use it to travel through regular space as well?
Okay, hold on.
Or am I confused?
Kind of. But no. Okay. So you have regular space, you rip a hole in reality, and you enter the warp.
Yeah.
You're in the warp. They're is no telling. The next time you rip a hole in space and you re-enter the materium, there's no telling where you end up.
Okay.
Right? For a regular person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you use the webway, you rip a hole in reality, you enter the webway, you know exactly where that webway is leading you into the real world.
Because it's a tunnel.
Yeah.
Right, because it's a tunnel. So me to go from here to Mars, right? If I want to do that, I can travel 3 different ways. I can do space travel, which is going to take me a couple of years.
Yeah.
I can do warp travel, which may take me there in a couple of days, or take me there in 50 years.
Or it might have already taken you there.
Right, yeah, you never know. Yeah. And then there's the webway, which is safe, secure, and quicker than anything else. So.
Yeah, okay.
But in the webway, because the way the warp works is if you exercise enough psychic ability upon it, you can create reality in the warp. Demon princes do it all the time. The chaos gods do it all the time, right? They have their entire realms for themselves. And so that's really what the webways are. It's a psychic, like they exercise their psychic ability upon the warp and shelter and protect it. And now they've created like a place of reality within this chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I mostly get that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot.
Just go back to the simple analogy.
Oh my gosh. Anyway.
So the Harlequins guard this like tome of all knowledge. But they also travel throughout the Eldar population, like retelling their history and keeping it alive.
Yeah, so they have like epics, really.
Yeah.
And so stories of like way back when, of all the things that happened, and like all the Eldar are expected to know the major epics.
Yeah.
Like you are expected to know like the history of it. And I'm not sure if that's pre or post fall, but I'm assuming it's
You know what?
post.
I'm pretty sure like
I'm pretty sure the Harlequins didn't like really get crazy until post.
I could agree with you on that, because then they become like different, and they get like death jesters who like act out. I'm pretty sure it's death jesters, and they act out like the part of Slaanesh.
Yeah.
And like they like.
Well, yeah, that like the protection of the Black Library would mean so much more after the fall of Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Right? Because then you have the Dark Eldar who
Yeah.
are prowling the webway, and you have all like the forces like Slaanesh has it out for them. So
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they existed. Well,
Yes.
there's no proof that they would have existed before,
but it
makes
is most
it
likely
makes
because
sense.
that's how their history got passed down.
Exactly, because they don't have.
But they get it's most likely that they got nuts after the fall.
Yeah.
That's when they start like being a military group.
Yeah.
Is my understanding of the history.
No, that makes sense.
The Harlequins pass it down in theater, and what they're sharing mainly is the pantheon.
Yeah.
So the pantheon, the Eldar pantheon, again, Mark doesn't like it, but it's really it's the Greek mythology, right? It's the Greek pantheon.
Yeah, pretty
Right.
well.
They have their
gods
lists of
and
gods,
brothers and sisters, and some
Yeah.
are making love to others, and others are getting kidnapped by others, and it goes on, and it's actually quite interesting. But
There's a lot of it's storytelling, right? So
Yeah.
there's stories, but like if we were saying before that like the previous stuff has nothing to do with 40K,
this really
stuff,
does not.
This has nothing to do with like the current like state of like the universe and the galaxy. It's all like it's good fluff, and it's good to know, and it answers some questions about the post Eldar, like mainly with the shards.
Yeah.
Right.
And what's also crazy too is it's not necessarily true.
Right.
Like, because it's passed on.
Right. It's verbal.
It's verbal. And
it's all oral tradition.
Yeah, and during the fall too, like they lost.
How much did they really lose? Really?
They even says they lost a bunch of their history and stuff. So
I
it
read
could
about
have.
that.
Yeah, so it could have changed and whatever. So like.
Yeah.
You kind of put your trust in the fact that
They're trying to just remember what the history was and put it back together.
Yeah. So I guess really quickly, we're gonna go over the War in Heaven, which is not to be confused with the War in Heaven.
Which War in Heaven is not supposed to be confused with which War in Heaven?
The War in Heaven isn't to be confused with the War in Heaven.
Oh.
So you get the War in Heaven way back when. That was the Necron, Tur, and the old ones.
Yeah.
This War in Heaven is the mythology. So this one is whether or not you believe it, this is the story that the Harlequins tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So you have this pantheon, and each of them, each of the gods like gives the Eldar something. So one of them gives them
Artifice.
Right, the artifice. So that gives them the ability to create stuff. One of them gives them the love of life.
Yeah.
One of them gives them joy. One of them gives them
rage.
Yeah, wrath, anger.
Oh,
yeah,
wrath.
Which
Okay.
is the ability. And his is interesting to me because his gift, and they all have a reason, right? And his gift says he's giving it to them to protect all their other gifts.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. The other ones are like meant to like increase their life, and his like, well, no, you have this great life. Now you have to protect it. So
Okay.
it's kind of
Yeah,
cool.
sure.
And I like, he's probably one of the most important.
Yeah.
Cain. Cain is the god of wrath, anger, whatever.
They actually call him like the god of war. Too.
Yeah. Yes, the
Like,
god of war. Yeah. And then the other one we need to talk about would be Vol.
Vol, yeah. He's the smith god.
Yeah. Okay. So the story they tell is that Cain was warned by one of the pantheon that at some point the Eldar are going to cause his destruction. So then he says, not on my watch, and he starts a crusade to obliterate all the Eldar, which was crazy because these deities like walked among the Eldar.
Yeah, like when we talk about like the chaos gods, they're like in the warp. They have, they're different.
And they have never been to reality.
Yeah, where these could very well.
We don't know if they're warp people. It
Yeah,
doesn't say.
exactly.
Literally,
They
all
walk
it says
with them.
is the Eldar had gods and they walked with them.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't give us anything more than that, which is kind of cool because it goes back to the whole. It's a story.
Yeah.
So, is it real? Anyways,
Who knows?
yeah. Like even the Eldar, like I bet a lot of them don't believe it.
Yeah, that's
Right.
quite possible.
So the story goes that the Eldar and the mortals, the pantheon and the mortal Eldar could walk together and hang out. And then Cain's told about this. It was destruction. I lost my train of thought. Oh, bloodbath. He goes on a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, is it?
I was just taking a drink.
God. So Cain goes on a bloodbath, killing everyone. One of the other pantheon, he's like, "Oh my gosh, stop doing that." He puts a barrier in between the pantheon and the mortal Eldar, and he says, "No longer are you allowed to do this." One thing leads to another. A couple of the gods still have contact with the Eldar because they love them. Cain finds out. He goes berserk, and he ends up torturing these guys, these other pantheon members, because he's like, "How dare you break the rules?" So
Yeah, kidnaps a couple and
puts them to work. And this is where Vol steps in. Vol says, "How could you do this? It's like you're better, whatever. It's pathetic. Like these are your people, like your family." And then Vol makes a deal with Cain, and Vol agrees to make him 100 swords. And the swords of Vol are insane.
like he's the god of smithing.
Yeah.
Like
Like,
he knows what he's
these
doing.
are a big deal. So,
and Cain,
yeah.
being the god of war, would like a good sword.
Yeah.
So it's a good deal.
No, it's a fantastic deal for Cain. So, over the course of the year, Vol makes 99 swords, doesn't have time to make the last one, throws an immortal blade,
Yeah.
gives him 100 swords. Cain takes the swords because he's super stoked about this now, and he lets go the other two pantheon. Yada yada yada. One thing leads to the next. At some point, Cain realizes that he's been frauded.
Yeah.
really. And an interesting thing is that there is apparently a connection between Cain and the Necronter, and that he actually loses a battle with the Necronter or the Necron. I can't remember at what point in the history it was.
Yeah.
But the reason he loses is
Oh, it's 'cause
because of
that-
the mortal blade. Yeah. So it's an interesting
Which goes.
thing. I know. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
So
To the mad
Cain
Marbles.
eventually finds out that he's missing a blade.
Yeah.
So he loses it on Vol, like to the point of where he just destroys Vol. Not destroys, but he binds Vol to his anvil. And then life is pretty much just crappy for the Pantheon. And then I guess it just continues.
It just continues like that for who knows how
who
long.
Word.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was pissed. And then you get Slaanesh.
Yeah. And when Slaanesh was born, basically,
Everything changes.
yeah, all these gods, a lot of them get killed by Slaanesh, like sucked in and eaten by Slaanesh.
Yeah. Slaanesh is going on a Pantheon killing spree.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah. We like some good Pantheonians.
Yeah.
But so Cain, being the god of war, he steps up and he tries to do battle with Slaanesh, and he loses.
He does, which is crazy. So he loses, and he actually gets shattered by Slaanesh. So it is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and you kind of liken it to the Satan.
Yeah, a little
and the
bit.
fact that they were shattered.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm just saying.
He's building up
anyways.
to something.
No. So this guy gets shattered, and that leads into post-fall Eldar.
Yeah.
There's a really cool thing that we'll add in when we do that episode. So he gets shattered. Vol is released from the anvil, and he creates a Naris. And a Naris is like the most powerful. It's what he calls the 100th sword.
Okay.
So he finishes his like pact with Cain.
Yeah.
And he creates the 100th sword, and it's the best sword ever created. And that's really like I can't. Something happens next. What is it?
Yeah. I didn't really do my fair share of research on this part.
Oh, don't worry, I'll get there.
This is me making
Here
filler.
we go. The fall of the gods. Okay, so yeah, Slaanesh is at this point, he's going through trying to kill all the gods.
Yeah.
Right? He's Oh, okay, yeah. Just give me 2 seconds.
Who wants to hear about my day?
No one does.
Oh, not me.
Okay, so it's actually
I
kind of
locked
interesting.
myself out of my car.
Here's some interesting. Did you really?
I did. And I full on criminal activity in it where like I took like a fish tape. I'm an electrician, so I took like a tool we use and jimmied it open and totally like flicked the door lock.
Yeah.
But it's so crazy what you can get away with when you're wearing a construction vest. Like, if you're wearing a tool belt and a construction vest and a hard hat, you can literally do whatever you want. Like, I've walked into people's houses.
Fly.
Yeah, like I've walked into people's house and like, oh, I'm just checking your electricity, and like, yep, go for it. It's like, okay,
Checking your electricity.
yeah, I'm just breaking into this car, in a parking lot. No one cares. Like, you can literally do anything. So all you criminals out there,
Jeez. Get a pair of coveralls and a safety
tool
vest.
belt and a hard hat. Yeah.
An interesting fact: Nurgle keeps in his cauldron Isha, one of the Eldar gods.
To basically test all the plagues on.
Yeah, he like tests
Because,
his poisons and plagues on her.
Yeah.
She's the one that gave them love of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Which could be even
I'm
like,
just saying. Anyways, we'll get there.
yeah.
Okay, so at this point, like, Slaanesh kind of goes on a pantheon killing crusade, and really that's kind of the end of the pantheon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there are...
a lot of them get eaten.
Yeah.
A couple get captured.
Yeah.
One gets turned into shards. He sharded himself.
Yeah. Someone sharded him.
Someone sharded on him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And then there are...
Does anyone use those shards?
Yes.
Isn't that a great question?
It is.
That is definitely post-Eldar.
Oh, okay.
So, sorry, post-Fall.
Post-fall, yeah.
So, but that's one of the coolest things about them is that thing that they do. So that's why this is kind of important to explain where the shard comes from.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And so really, yeah, that's the only thing to take away.
Oh yeah,
One of the
honestly,
gods
like-
gets turned into a shard, and it was the god of war. And when the Eldar become very militaristic, they basically have an avatar of Cain, and like he possesses like an Eldar basically, and like turns into like a giant flaming monster.
Yeah, it's so.
So if you take any, yeah,
and it like really the pantheon is the story.
yeah, it's tough to talk about without just literally telling you the story. But the other key takeaway is I think is there only 3 that survive?
Yes.
Yeah, so one is Cain. The other
Sorry, no.
No?
No. Cain isn't included in that.
Oh, so only 2 survive then?
Sorry. No, you were right, Mark. Keep going.
Only 3 survive Cain, who turns into shards and becomes like
Yeah, he's
an avatar basically.
yeah.
And
His
then,
power's split. He can't do anything.
yeah. And then the other one is Isha, who we talked about.
Isha is captured in Nurgle's garden.
Yeah, and is basically tested on.
Yeah.
And the last one is Korgaka.
I'm gonna let you struggle over that.
Korgaranda.
I would say Kegarak or
Kegarak.
Sigarak.
And he's the laughing god.
Yeah.
And he's the god of the Harlequins. Yeah. And he kind of guides them a little bit. And what that means, no one really knows. Like the Harlequins themselves are pretty mysterious, and their god's even more mysterious.
And then it's like, do you even believe the Harlequins? Because if they tell you like they're visited by a god, like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the takeaway.
Yeah, there's not much in the mythology other than the sharding of Cain.
Yeah.
And I guess it's interesting though, because like Isha is like referred to in other places, so it's like it's hard to deny the pantheon when it crops up in something else.
Yeah.
Right, in a very like real manner.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's probably going to be the end of the Eldar mythology.
Wait, there's more.
What's that?
Okay, so.
Or is this where you want to do? Okay.
This is gonna be where we're gonna try to blow your mind.
Yeah. So we're ending that topic because that's all lore.
That is okay.
Right. And what we're gonna do now is our tale from the warp section. So at this point, it's conjecture, theory, bouncing ideas off of each other. So go ahead, Mark.
So think about this: the elder gods are actually old ones. Because they walked with the Eldar, they taught him how to do stuff. They gave him gifts. They don't describe what the elder gods look like.
That's true. They okay.
The old ones, they never specifically say they go extinct. They say a lot of them die, like there's an Armageddon, and lots disappear. The other thing to think about is there's two elder gods. Their names are like Eldarish and what's the chick's name?
You talking about Eldanesh?
Eldanesh and...
No, those are mortals. Eldanesh is a mortal. You're talking about...
The two that's seated.
Okay, Isha and Kronos.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and they basically like seeded the Eldar.
Yes, it says the Eldar races are descended from Isha and Kronos.
Yeah.
And we did talk about in our episode about the War in Heaven, how the old ones seeded the Eldar.
Yeah. So, yeah, because when they talk about the Eldar gods, they're not talking about like Chinch and Slaanesh, where they're like warp beings. Like, they walked with them. Like,
they are talking about beings that like physically were present.
Exactly. And then the other neat thing is, so Cain, he fought the Necron and lost.
Right.
Who fought the Necron and lost? The old ones. So...
Okay. All right. Do you really think Nurgle has an old one?
It's possible.
He has
Why
Isha.
not? One of the Necron apparently have an old one. Trazan the Infinite apparently has an old one.
No.
Doesn't he? Pretty sure he does.
He has the husk of an enslaver.
I know, I'm pretty sure he has an old one too.
Fact checking.
All right.
Fact checking.
So, okay. Another thing would be...
Sorry, who was that?
Trazan the Infinite.
Yeah. If an old one is really... Okay, in the Pantheon, it says that Asurion, who was like the leader of the Pantheon, created a barrier that blocked the mortal races from seeing the Pantheon.
So this could be done in two ways. It could literally just be like he told like all the Pantheon, like, don't talk to the Elder anymore. And this is their disappearing.
No. It was an actual barrier because the Spirit Stones is what the other two Pantheon members needed to communicate.
Here's the other thing. Like, the old ones were incredibly psychic. So it could be a psychic barrier where, like, he literally blocked the Elder's mind from seeing
That's actually kind of cool to think about. Like,
right?
Think about a psychic barrier. So... I'm the mortal, and you're the Pantheon, or like you're the god, and we can have this discussion.
Who's Jordan in this?
Jordan's my Harlequin.
Ooh, it all works out. Oh god, new theory. I'm an old one.
So if you are the god, then all of a sudden that psychic barrier exists, and you can be here with me. I just can't see you.
But I could still be guiding you, like...
that's what Isha and Kronos did.
Yeah.
They still guided the Eldar through their Spirit Stones, and that's what Cain got so pissed off about.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay,
It's something to think about.
One of the main reasons why I wouldn't agree is because they are descended, and the Eldar bear no resemblance to the reptilian description we get of the Old Ones. Because
Yeah,
the
okay.
way I understand the seeding is more of, like, I would more understand that the Old Ones psychically created the pantheon,
Yeah.
right? And that's why they're so much better. And then the pantheon creates the Eldar.
That's possible.
That's-
But also on the other hand, so like they look nothing alike. Just imagine if an old one put some of his DNA on a planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like, and tried to let it grow. I'm not a scientist, but
Yeah.
like the end result would
The
end
exact
up
same, Mark. Trust me, I'm a scientist.
the end result would not end up looking the
Not
same.
right. There
right?
is
Like,
truth. There's truth.
so
to
it could still work out. Like, yeah, there are some holes in this.
that. Yeah, it's an interesting thought though, because that would mean the Old Ones are still alive.
They are still alive. Could be.
Okay. Well, that's debatable.
No, yeah, and that's the
Yeah,
point.
and,
like,
and that's
of
an
this-
interesting thought. Like,
Yeah.
if the Old Ones are still alive, like, the mastery that they have could change everything.
Yeah.
Because they have knowledge that it would change everyone's understanding of the warp,
Exactly.
right? So that'd be interesting. If anyone knew how to defeat chaos,
Yeah.
it would be the Old Ones.
Yeah. So another point here is Korogarath, the laughing god.
Kegarak? Segarak?
He's like in the warp or in the webway basically. Like he's like in the Black Library doing his thing, you know? Like,
Really?
Well, that's where the Harlequin are. You would think that he would
Okay.
also be able to
Yeah,
go
because
there.
they have physical bodies.
Which means like, you know, who else has mastery of the webways? The old ones,
That's true.
right? It could very well be.
It's an interesting
So-
idea. The question then I would have is, what the hell, guys? Like, what have you been doing this whole damn time?
Well, okay, so Kane's been sharded. So,
Yeah.
you know, he's done. He no longer has any power.
Yeah, but the Old Ones were guiders.
Yeah.
They were fosterers. They had like the parental like instinct
Yeah.
of like, we need to guide everyone. And I guess
But
that
you would-
they were gripped by fear
Yeah.
in the end.
Yeah, and just because like you can say humanity's
Whatever
very-
you're gonna say, the answer is no. You can't.
very warlike, like if
Okay, sure.
but I've never gone to war. You know, I wouldn't, you know, like
Okay,
there
yeah,
are
yeah.
people who
That's
as a
interesting.
race of a whole, you know, like there's certain characteristics. Yeah, sure, they're nurturing or whatever, but like there are those exceptions that would not be. Like Korogarath.
Kegarak. You'll get it eventually.
I don't think I will.
It's because you don't actually care.
No,
So
it's because I can't speak English. I can't read.
Did you find Trazen?
Yes.
Does he have? What were you saying he has?
Potentially an old one.
He has an old one.
It doesn't say anything about that. It says that his collections include the fabled Wraithbone Choir of Altensar.
Which that's a member of the pantheon.
Oh well, yeah.
So that's what you're talking about. Okay,
Ah.
that's if the okay.
There's
Keep
also
going.
the preserved head of Sebastian Thor.
That one's pretty sweet, actually.
Who's that?
Basically, in human history, there's a guy who like becomes a priest and he leads like a huge like religious crusade for the emperor.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like around I don't know the exact date, but I think it's like M34 or something like that. And he basically goes up against like another guy, and
It's
he
kinda
just
cool.
becomes like a huge religious figure.
Okay.
Although like he's not he himself does not want to be like this religious figure kind of like.
Hello, the emperor.
Well, he's not being worshipped or anything. He's
Gotcha.
actually a quote unquote good guy.
Okay.
We'll get into him eventually because he does actually play a huge part in 40K.
Okay, what else has he got?
The other item he has is or relic is the ossified husk of an enslaver.
Yeah, that
Which
one
is
I
sweet.
knew. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because you like rarely see the enslavers anymore.
Yeah.
And a giant man wearing a Baroque power armor. Am I saying that right?
Baroque.
Baroque, yeah.
Yeah, like super old style.
Yeah.
Probably like Thunder Armor or something.
Yeah.
Mark's smiling
okay.
at me, giving me that look.
Like, oh, I could go down a deep dark web here.
So okay, so I don't. If you were to believe that the old ones, the pantheon, were old ones, then yeah, I could see that Trazen has an old one with him.
Yeah.
It's like the skeleton. Is that what it was? It's like a skeleton of it.
The bone, it said.
The wraith.
Wraithbone.
Wraithbone.
Wraithbone
Choir
choir.
of Altensire.
Yeah. So it's an interesting idea.
Okay.
But if if the pantheon aren't the old ones, then
Yeah.
like where do they come from?
They would have been created
In
by
the-
like
In
the old
like
ones.
the warp, or created by the old ones?
I like the
They
old
could
ones,
have even just been like political leaders.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Because like over time
Yeah.
in history, like they could turn like these amazing political leaders
Right.
into
They would have
deities.
transformed it
Yeah.
through the
yeah.
Yeah.
My
history.
what I like to think of is that the old ones, like, they have this mastery of the warp and they psychically create them. Like, honestly, it's like they use the energy of the warp to create life. And they can bypass evolution. They absolutely can.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with them literally creating these beings and then being like, go create, prosper and everything. So that's how I more choose to understand the pantheon, is that if the pantheon did exist, it was more in a role of like they were created and not born. So
okay.
but talking about the pantheon, Mark, what about all of the pantheon being an aspect of a chaos god?
So this is conspiracy theory 2.
Yeah. So you're saying
This
that
one's a little more crazy,
it is,
but
it's
it,
a little
it is
harder
very enjoyable.
it's harder to rationalize.
Yeah, but
So-
it's still good.
So you're saying that maybe they're the old ones,
Yeah.
and we'll take it a step further and say, what if those pantheons are actually aspects of chaos gods themselves?
So let's break this down. So
Corn. Let's do Corn. It's the easiest one.
it's easiest. He's the god of war, he's the god of rage. He gave rage to the Eldar.
Right. Well, Cain. Cain gave rage, wrath, anger, the ability to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Right? And that it has an honorable tint to it.
Yeah, which goes back to Korn, who
Right.
has like martial pride and is the god of war himself.
Right. But
So-
and then you get let's make the connection with Isha, who literally goes back to Nurgle.
Yeah, and she's like the god of what do they call it? Like crops or whatever. The god of the harvest.
Okay, yeah.
isn't she?
Yes.
So growing life and growing like bacterial life, which is like what Nurgle kind of does,
Yeah.
are very similar. Like
Yeah.
either way, they're kind of
Like
like
the
Nurgle
whole
doesn't always have to be bad.
No.
Like
He creates life.
there
Like,
are
the
good,
diseases.
yeah, there are good bacteria.
Yeah, the diseases he creates are life.
Yeah.
So what we're kind of spitballing here is like, what if you get like Korn, who is this rage monster, and what happens if you pull the little bit of good? It's difficult to believe there's good in Korn, but what happens if you pull that away? Right? What are you left with? You're left with the ability to defend yourself for an actual reason.
Yeah.
Like, what happens if you take Nurgle, whose ability to create life and pestilence and plague, and you pull only the good parts out of it?
Yeah.
You get Isha,
Yeah.
right? And the Nurgle and Isha fit so perfectly together. That's why he keeps her in his garden.
Yeah.
Like, maybe she was such a perfect creation of himself that he refuses to absorb her back into him.
Yeah.
Right? And Korn obviously doesn't care where blood comes from, but you better believe Cain contributes to that.
Yeah. So he's not pulling him back in.
Right, he refuses to because he's like, it's just another one of my servants.
Also, Korn's opposite is Slaanesh. Like Korn hates Slaanesh.
Right.
So it would make sense that Cain would fight Slaanesh.
Yeah, because Slaanesh has a hunger for Eldar.
Yeah. And the other one is Korkwak. Okay, that time
Segorak?
Segorak.
Kegorak. But the Harlequin god.
The Harlequin god, the laughing god, the trickster god. Who else does tricks and schemes?
Ooh.
Change.
Right? So, there are some interesting...
Parallels.
Yeah, parallels that could be made. So, it's... you gotta wonder if these gods are constantly sharding out parts of themselves to create these demons. Is it so statistically impossible to think that they created one that doesn't follow according to their plan? Think of Scorbrand?
Scarbrand, yeah.
Scarbrand, right?
Yeah.
He rose up. What's wrong with thinking that there was a concentration of the good part of that god that coalesced into this?
Yeah.
Right? And then they are chaos gods
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah,
Right?
they would be.
Yeah.
Now the only problem with this whole thing is that they walked with the Eldar, and there's a bunch of Eldar gods that do not fit into this nice little package that we've presented.
Yeah.
But for all we know, like those other Eldar gods,
they display a different aspect of the other Chaos gods.
And who knows, like the warp maybe was subtle enough that they were able to walk like in the webways or something, or
it's not even that. I mean, all demons
yeah
can come to the Materium with the appropriate sacrifice.
Yeah.
But if you had the help of the old ones,
yeah,
how hard would it, like, if an old one was here, I bet he knows how to bring Khorne to this reality.
Okay.
Right? If the old one sees a shard of Khorne's power and he sees that in the warp and he sees, oh man, like you would be the martial prowess that I need to defend this people.
Yeah.
Let me bring you to the Materium.
Yeah, and I guess that even plays into that's why the Elder were and the old ones were able to like fight back the Necron-Tyr.
Right.
Because they were literally using warp beings.
Right.
Yeah.
So
okay, it makes a little more sense. Okay.
It's still a stretch.
It's a stretch, but I'm starting to like that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like the idea that they come from the Chaos Gods.
Yeah, okay. Who back then were probably not as chaotic as they are now even.
Oh, goodness, no.
So,
yeah, because it wasn't until the Eldar were created and humans that the chaos, like the warp, really got nuts.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess the final thing we'll say is Slaanesh, who was born way after the old ones, that's why he doesn't have like an Eldar god equivalent.
Yeah.
Because he was not there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, food for thought. I don't know. Tell us whether you agree or disagree.
Let's have a vote. We'll have a vote. If you like the old ones being I'm talking for our fans. Like we'll see.
Okay.
You guys should message us.
Yeah.
And we'll see who gets more votes.
Yeah.
If you like the Eldar.
So there's going to be 3 different options.
3.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
So do you think they are old ones?
Yeah.
Do you think they're shards of chaos gods, or something else entirely?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and here's the only catch: if you think it's something else entirely, you better back it up.
Yeah.
You better tell us what you think it is.
How many word essay? I'm thinking 15.
This is
words.
a decent 15 words.
15 words. That's all I'm willing to read.
Yeah, that's all you can read.
Well, you give me too much credit, good sir.
All right, so that concludes this episode, I guess.
Yeah. So our new email. We're just come out and say it. I think.
Yeah.
Originally, we called our podcast A Beginner's Guide to 40K.
Yeah.
But we're gonna change it to something a little more simpler, Lorehammer.
Yeah.
And
so instead of having ABG 40K as our email,
we're gonna have. We should probably check if it's even available, but most likely it'll be Lorehammer at gmail.com.
Yeah. So I guess we should create that. But yeah, vote. Let us know what you think, if it's the real one. Send us your questions. I love answering them. Like all of us will have that email, so we'll get some good conversation going. But until next time, we'll see you guys later.
I'm Mark.
Oh boy.
Peace out.
See ya.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you want to leave your questions or comments, you can reach us at Lorehammer on our Facebook page or our Twitter handle at Lorehammer40K, or our email address, lorehammerpodcast@gmail.com. See you next episode.